Hello everybody, and welcome back to the realm. Last episode, I made this bridge, and there was actually a slight issue with it. Basically, this side of the bridge would take slightly longer to extend than this side, and as you can see, that's now fixed. It was really bothering me, and what I figured out the issue is that the way that I had it connected up is I had a repeater going to this bridge, and I did not have a repeater going to this side. And I assumed since there wasn't any ticks back on the repeater that it wouldn't matter, but apparently there's still a very small delay. Oh, and look, we got some mobs down here. Get this creeper out of here. We don't want him. I don't even think he could blow anything up from there since he's in the water, but better be safe than sorry. And what I want to do in this episode is try and make this area around here look a lot better, because right now it looks kind of bland and boring. And my idea for a way that I could do that is by making this place look a little bit scorched, I guess is how I would describe it. I want to have some dead bushes, maybe some dead coral, and I'm thinking a good first step to do this would be by replacing these torches with fire like that. It might be a bit dangerous to get around, but I think it would be pretty cool. And also, I don't know. Ooh, yeah, see, I almost walked into that. And I don't know, like, if it would provide enough light, so what I'm probably going to end up doing is replacing these with fire. And then once it turns night, I guess I'll just wait and see if any mobs spawn. Okay, it's night now, and so far it doesn't look like any mobs are spawning. It also doesn't look like they're spawning out there, so I might go up to the top of my tower and then jump back down just to make sure that it's not that I'm too close for any mobs to spawn. So let's hop up here, and hopefully we'll see some mobs spawn down in the woods over there. In the forest somewhere. Unless, actually, they might be out of simulation distance from up here. But yeah, I think there's a pretty good coverage of lighting around here. And I also think that fire has a light level of 15, which is actually one more than torches. So if there was no mobs spawning with the torches, then the fire should be doing fine. And I think the next thing that I want to do is get some coarse dirt and put it around the fire. That way it'll look like the fire has maybe burned away some of the mycelium. And actually, I'm just going to craft some. Because if you have gravel and dirt, you can craft it into coarse dirt. So we got 2 stacks of that. And I think it should be pretty easy. I'm not going to make necessarily a strict border around the pieces of fire, but I might just, put a few pieces down and just sort of spread it out. I'm probably gonna have to keep going up there and maybe up to the tower to see how it looks, but yeah, I'm just gonna spread this coarse dirt around. Alright, I've got this coarse dirt around here, and I think it looks pretty good. There is still a lot of mycelium, and I will be breaking that up later, but I think that adding in the coarse dirt was a pretty good addition. And also, one piece of advice I have, and I used this technique while I was building this, is instead of just going right in and replacing the mycelium with the coarse dirt, I would take my shovel and sort of plan out where I wanted to put it, and then what I would do is I would just replace it out. Since I don't want it here, I'm just going to put the dirt directly back in so that mycelium can spread to it. But pretty much it just lets you figure out where you want to put the coarse dirt without committing to it, and you can just get it done a lot more quickly that way. And I think the next thing that I want to do is add in some burnt trees around here, although I'm not sure how close I can put wood to fire for it to not burn. It looks like even if it's 1 block away, it'll be fine. I'm not going to put it that close, but I just want to make sure that I'll be alright. I know that with lava, it can burn from like 5 blocks away, I think, but it seemed fine with the fire. And I could just go up a few blocks and, ouch, have have the trees going up like this. But I think it might look like, you know, Herobrine came through here, so I want to try and add some things to make it distinct. And I'm not so sure that I like how far that goes out. This doesn't look too terrible. Let's see, what if I were to add a little something going up there, like a branch? Yeah, no, I don't really like that either. And I may have to make some spruce fences to fit in here. So I'm probably going to experiment with this a bit till I find something that I like. And then I'll build some trees around here. Okay, so after a lot of trial and error, this is what I finally came up with for our first tree. And it's pretty simple, and I think that's probably a good thing because I just kept trying so many things and I think I just overthought it a ton. I even saw a big tree over there and I cut off all the leaves to try and like see how to do it, and really I don't think that looks very good, at least for what I'm trying to do. So yeah, I'm gonna have to cut that down, but I also went into a creative world and made an acacia tree and cut the leaves off that, and saw that they used this sort of diagonal shape of wood. They just sort of put a block here and one up there to make a branch sort of going up, and I liked that. And also I realized something about trees, and that's that the branches are up towards the top, right? So you can see the trunk, you have the trunk of the tree, and then the leaves are all at the top. And what I was trying to do is put branches at all these different layers, and it kept looking unnatural. And yeah, the reason why it did is because I had branches coming out down here and there wouldn't be any leaves down there. So if you're ever going to try and make trees, or at least burnt ones with logs like this, I'd recommend putting the branches up high and not spreading them out down at the bottom and the top. Also, I found that it looks good if you use spruce fences sort of towards the bottom. It looks like little tiny branches, and I think that just adds a little bit to it, makes it a little less boring to look at. And now I'm pretty much just gonna go around here building similar trees to this one. So I've just been building trees, and I guess I can officially call this little area an island now because a wandering trader spawned right on it. And hopefully he doesn't walk his llamas into the fire. Good luck, you're stuck here forever. Alright, I got a bunch of trees in here now. And also, the wandering trader fell down into the moat, so have fun down there, buddy. And even though this first tree took me a while to make, the other ones didn't. Once you kind of figure out what you're doing, you get into a rhythm, and it was just kind of relaxing to build. And I think that this area is starting to take shape, but I don't just want this to be it, right? And even if you look in regular forests, you got grass, you got flowers, and I think I have an idea of what the equivalent would be for this biome. One thing that I want to bring in is some dead bushes from the desert. And also, number 0 dropped off a ton of coral. And if you don't put any water under this in a few seconds, actually I don't know how long it takes, but it should, yep, it died and turned gray. And I think that this dead coral is gonna look really cool on top of the mycelium, and even on top of the coarse dirt it looks pretty good. So I'm gonna take some of this coral and grab some dead bushes and just put them around this area. So I really like how this turned out. I think that the dead bushes go pretty well with the dead coral. And also, as you can see, I added in some campfires under these slabs, and there's smoke coming out of them. And I just think that adds a lot to the area. It just sort of adds to the idea that this place is like burnt and scorched and in ruins. Even though, I mean, the actual buildings aren't really ruined, but, you know, just adds a lot to the vibe. And also, as for my coral selections, I mostly use the fan coral and some of this brain coral because it looks different than the dead bushes. There's some right in here. Yeah, the fire coral and the dead brain coral. Oh, I guess the bubble coral. I did not use the brain coral. This right here is the bubble coral. And personally, I think it just looks... I mean, maybe not the brain coral, but at least the fire coral looks a lot like the dead bushes, and I didn't want it to be too repetitive, so I just used the bubble coral and the flat coral. And also, I think that, you know, with all this burnt stuff, we probably shouldn't be having glowberries here, so I'm just gonna take these down and put chains here if I can reach. Can't reach. Here we go. Grab some of our dirt. And I think it would be pretty cool to put some, like, heads on these chains. Like, you know, hang some mob heads and stuff. But unfortunately, I don't have a good way to get heads right now. So I'm probably going to have to wait till later to do that. For now, I'm just going to leave them hanging with nothing. I feel like just having, you know, chains with nothing on here might look kind of cool. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, it just adds to it. It looks a little evil, and I kind of like that. And the next thing that I want to do, even though at least I think this area is all done for now, is head over to this mangrove biome that number 0 found, because I've actually never been to a mangrove biome before, and he said that it looked really cool, so I want to go check that out. Also, I might grab some slime from Dr. Green's Emporium on the way so that I can breed some frogs together, and maybe I can get some tadpoles in one of my buckets. So yeah, I'm gonna head on over to the Mangrove Swamp. Alright, so here we are in the Mangrove Swamp, and it was actually a really long trek through the nether to get here. I might end up making an ice path there at some point because it took a really long time. Like, we're 6,500 blocks away from spawn, and that was about 800 blocks in the nether, so pretty far. And oh my god, this place is awesome. I've never been in here before. And I've also never seen a frog in game, so it's pretty cool to see these white frogs. I'm actually gonna try and breed these together quick so that I can try and get some tadpoles. We can get them to come on over to each other. There you go, and there you go. And they might need a little bit of water, I don't know. Here, let's grab some water from here quick so that they can make a nice little spot, and hopefully they'll just put some, yeah, it looks like maybe this one's gonna lay some eggs in there. Does not look like they laid any eggs. You know what, let's try again. I brought multiple, well, they are not breeding right now. I guess in the meantime, I'll grab some of these. What are these things called? Propagules, I think. Propagules. I just broke one. Also, yeah, I don't need all this netherrack. When number 0 made the path here, I guess he didn't have enough inventory space, and clearly I didn't either. And let's try using shears to get these propagules, because apparently you can't just punch them. Here's one. There we go. Now I should be able to make my own propagule. Now I should be able to make my own mangrove trees back at our base if we ever want any. Probably just for the wood. I don't think that these would fit very well with, you know, the burnt thing that I have going on my base. And now it actually looks like they did decide to lay some eggs here, so I'm gonna wait for these to hatch, and then I'll scoop up the tadpoles. Oh god! There, oh, I got one. They're flopping all over. Don't die. Nope. Okay, sir. Oh, okay. Okay. Phew. I was not expecting them to instantly flop out of the water like that. Yeah, that wasn't too good, but yeah, it's night now, and I have to say that I think these swamps are even cooler at night. Like, it's one thing to, you know, just see it from above, but once you're actually down here going through, you know, all the, what are these? I don't know what they're called, the roots, I guess. It's really cool, and every once in a while you can hear like a frog croak. It just is really cool, and if you've never been to one of these biomes, I'd recommend that you come to one, because they're really awesome, and just looking at them like from here doesn't give it justice. You really have to walk through them to understand like how cool it is. I'm just gonna go ahead and store these tadpoles safely in this chest, because based on how they first hatched, I really don't trust them to be in water. They'll probably just hop out and die. And also, now that I have these mangrove propagules, I think it's propagule. Now that I have these propagules, I'm just gonna put them in my chest with all my nature stuff. And that's gonna be about it for this episode. I really like how this area turned out. I like the burnt aesthetic. And also, I really like the smoke. I feel like that adds a lot to it. I'm also glad that I went to the Mangrove Swamp, because those biomes look really cool, especially at night with all the frogs croaking. It just is really different from any other biome in Minecraft. And if you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like, and if you want to see more videos like this one, please consider subscribing. And that's going to be about it, so I will see you in the next one.